The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry at Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guys. Me, really raw, villain raw. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And we are here for a early morning episode of the WNBA Gambling Podcast here in the NBA slot. We had some extra time, nothing going on. We talked about the games for tonight, Tuesday, June 4th, on the last episode. So if you're looking for those picks, you need to back on out and go check out the last episode. Today, we're talking about Wednesday, giving out more Commissioner Cup picks. 2 games in the WNBA for a Wednesday, and just an opportunity to give our NBA audience a chance to listen in on what's going on. So shout out to the schedule makers of the NBA for giving us the opportunity to do this by not making these games right on top of each other and getting people hurt. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing okay. Nice to be back for WNBA. I know we covered the games for today, but we had 2 other games to talk about. So looking forward to going through those. I know we're going to be back once again tomorrow for NBA coverage. We're going to be covering game 1 tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But it's nice to be back in the early, I should say late morning slot for the WNBA.
Yeah, and it's great to have lines out this early. I mean, there was a point in time where we were begging the night before, early in the morning, lines just dropped, let's try to squeeze an episode. But now the book's very, 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 very cognizant of the look that the WNBA is getting, and just giving lines. I mean, 2 days in advance is unheard of. Of. We've been doing this 3 years. Unheard of to get lines 2 days in advance just regularly. And it's been like that consistently all season. And actually, Scott, we even have player props. We even have player props as well. Yep. So we're going to have a lot to talk about here. It's come a long way, but we still got so much further to go. That's the church right there. That's the church. How much far have we come, but we still have further to go. All right. Before we talk about that, we got to talk about the NBA Finals. They're tipping off this weekend. We're giving away $100 cash and a $100 SGPN gift card. We have our every year NBA Finals prop contest. You can head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals, and you can enter that, get a chance to win $100 and a gift card and $100 in cash as well. Pick through a whole bunch of finals props. It's a lot of fun, and test your knowledge of how you feel with the NBA with the biggest series of the year. So tap into the NBA Finals and that finals contest with sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals. All right, Scott, 2 games up on the docket for a Wednesday in the WNBA. We're continuing our 2-week straight of Commissioner Cup in-season tournament games. That, for those, again, who do not remember, this ends with 2 teams, one from the East, one from the West, with the highest winning percentage from the last 2 weeks that will battle it out for $500,000. I can't remember. Is this on the home court? Yeah, this is on the highest win percentage team home court. So the highest win percentage of everybody hosts the game, and then it will be $500 on the line between the top East team and the top West team. So Wednesday, first game up in the Western both of these are Western Conference games, actually. Las Vegas Aces are on the road going to play the Dallas Wings. Aces are laying 6.5. 168.5 is the total here. Let's see in injury report for the Aces. So you still have Chelsea Gray, who the point guard who is going to be out. She's still out for some time with that leg injury. And then you have Kirsten Bell with the leg injury, also out. Tiffany Hayes is going to be a game time decision. She just signed back with the team. If you don't know who Tiffany Hayes is, she's an all-star guard, veteran guard, 15 plus years in the league. And she retired in December, and she recently came out of retirement, signed with the Aces. She's going to be playing with them going forward. However, I don't have any info if she's going to be playing in this game or not. Next up for Dallas Wings, Jaylen Brown's questionable. Natasha Howard and Satu Sabali are both out. All right. Scott, this Wings team has played them. You said what?
Does any part of you actually trust the Wings?
Not really. Okay. I mean, yes and no. I will say they don't look bad for a 3-4 team. They actually are probably better than what their record indicates. You remember we talk about how good the Sun are. They scored 72 and almost won that game. So, like, I don't think, they split between the Sky. That's here nor there. Dominate the Wings and a close game against the Sparks is here nor there. They're okay. Like, they're just okay. And I feel like they could be better, but they just, like, you're missing 2 starters at the end of the day. Like, you're missing 2 legit bona fide starters in the lineup. So it's just like, how much can I really expect of you?
Also, you mentioned yesterday that the Wings are the worst scoring second half team in the league.
Yes. That's also going to cause you to lose some games if you can't score in the second half.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we just lay it.
I'm with you. I think we're laying it too.
So despite the Wings looking better defensively, it's that second half. And I might be able to sell myself on the first half. Maybe. But ultimately, without Natasha Howard, without Satu, I just think offensively they're going to be way too stagnant, because it's not like you can just play through the bigs and get easy points around the rim with the bigs, with Asia Wilson hanging around there, with Kia Stokes hanging around there. Arike is going to do her thing, and it's really going to be volume. And it'll just be on if she's able to hit her shots, if she's going to have a huge game or if she's just going to have a solid game, but she's going to get the volume to score. But, like, who else am I going to consistently, with the Aces defense looking like they want to step up, who am I going to consistently look at to score here?
There are many options, and we've seen McCowan kind of become an afterthought on this team. So, I mean, what exactly do they have? They have Monique and they have Arike, right? I mean, is that basically the entire team at this point?
That can go out there and create their own shot, yes.
Yeah, that's probably not a good sign when you're facing off against the Aces. So I think I have to go with the Aces in this spot.
Yeah, I think this is just this, and the Aces are coming off of a loss. I just think this is a little bit of a step down in class here. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Aces. Like, I think Aces have too much for them, and this is actually kind of comical, but because I think the Aces would lay 6.5 if Satu and Natasha Howard were in the lineup.
Yeah.
What is it? So you're telling me if Satu and Natasha Howard were in the lineup, this is
probably like
3?
I was going to say 3, 4.5, maybe. I mean, that's
not right.
Yeah, I don't think it's right either, but that'd be my guess. So yeah, I think the Aces should be favored by a lot more.
And the fact that they're underwhelming in the second half. Yeah, I'm all over the Aces here. Let's lay the chalk. Chalk 6.5 with the Aces. All right, it's gonna be on defense. If they can hold them defensively, that's really what it's gonna be. And we'll talk about that now with the total 168.5. It opened up 166.5. Let me see here. Oh, am I frozen?
I don't think so.
Oh,
no, I see you.
Okay.
You're good.
Oh, okay. All right. No, it's because I have another screen open and it's not moving. I'm like, oh wait, and then it got mad quiet. All right. Let's see what you got here for the total 168.5.
It's tricky because I think the Aces can score a bunch of points against this team, and the Wings we know are not exactly the best defensive team, but offensively they might be a bit limited. I think I'm going to lean under. I think I prefer the Aces team total over if I had to pick like one angle for that. But if I had to go for the full game total, I think I'd lean under. Not really a strong opinion, but I have seen a better defensive effort in these Commissioner's Cup games. So I'll lean under, but I do think I'd prefer the Aces team total over. I just think that the Aces should be able to get what they want. I'm not sure the Wings are going to do much in this game. In other words, I can see this game turning into a blowout if I think that
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Let's look at some of. So currently, as is, the Wings are ninth in opponents' points per game at 83 points per. Excuse me, 83 points per game. They're questionable rebounding. They're giving up a bunch of offensive rebounds. I want to like the Wings. I want to say the Wings are competitive because the Wings do play this team tough, but the injuries are just too much. And I think they really Satu had great games against the Aces last year. Like she had a couple of really great games against the Aces. I think they're really gonna miss that. Whereas this Aces team defensively starting to wake up a little bit more. They're starting to play better in the past 5 games defensively, opposed to in the start of the season where the Mercury were just hitting everything in the sun around them. So yeah, no, I'm with you. They're gonna have to open it up from 3, and I just don't think they have as many options without Satu and Natasha. So dare I say Wings team total under?
That's kind of where I'm looking at. I'm thinking Aces might go over, and you see the Wings go under. It really has the makings of what could be a lopsided game. It's also Commissioner's Cup. The Aces lost in the final last year. Maybe that matters. So, just a thought.
Oh, this is their first Commissioner Cup game.
Yep.
First Commissioner's Cup game, and they have the opportunity to go ahead. Yeah, I'm with you. They just saw the Liberty dominate the Wings. They're gonna try to run up the score. Okay, so Aces team total over. I can buy that. Aces team total over. I'm with that with you. Aces minus 6.5. Wow, we're just all over the Aces here today.
Yep.
Player props.
I mean, do I keep being tempted by McCowan unders? I mean, she's been a complete afterthought on this team. I tried to make a case for the last game they played because historically speaking, she had great performances against the Lynx, and the Lynx are not a good rebounding team, and she still basically did nothing in that game. So am I just back on McCowan unders? I mean, I'm looking at her rebounds. It's at 7.5. Her points are at 11.5, but she hasn't been close in these games. Like she's done well against the Aces in the past, but I just don't know what her role is on this team. She's basically like I don't want to say a de facto bench player, but they kind of play her for like 25 minutes a game and then they call it a day. So maybe McCowan unders. I don't think she's actually quick enough to deal with the Aces and the pace they want to play at. So that's also going to be a bit of a problem. I think I have to go with Asia rebounds at 10.5. She's added at least 11 rebounds in 7 of the last 10 games, and she's done well in the head-to-head rebounding. So I think Asia rebounds is worth a look. If I am going to go with McCowan under, then I have to consider Monique overs because Billings has been very solid. She had a monster double-double last game. Her rebounds are at 8.5, but I think her points could be intriguing in this game. So I don't mind Billings over, but I guess the question I have to ask you is who's supposed to guard Jackie and who's supposed to guard Plum? Do they have like anybody to guard those players?
Well, limits. I think that's gonna be the tougher thing is who's really good. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I mean, I think it's just more of they're just gonna try to use their size and disrupt and try to take away things around the basket. But if they're hitting their jump shot, and I think that's probably where this becomes a game, and the Aces may struggle if they're not able to score easy at the rim. You know, Kelsey Plum loves to drive. Jackie Young loves to get to the rim. They're both good 3-point shooters, but that's not like the core of their game. Like they love to drive and get to the rim and get to their spots. And so But I think the 3-point shooting is probably going to be the thing that sets them over the edge today, because I just don't think anybody can guard them out in the perimeter. So it's going to be how they finish around the rim. I I I still think both of them will be fine. I don't know who's going to really slow them down. I think the Aces offense should really just click today. It should look a lot better, especially in a Commissioner's Cup game, especially coming off of a loss to the Dream, where you probably feel like you should have won that game. And then we don't know if Tiffany Mitchell is playing. If Tiffany Mitchell is playing now, that just adds another wrinkle, because you lost another person that can create their own shot, and you just gained another person that can create their own shot in Tiffany Mitchell. So, yeah, mm, am I intrigued by Plum, or I think I'm intrigued still by Jackie's assist. I don't think I can go away from that.
I can get behind that.
What's her assist line at?
7.5. It's actually plus money.
7.5. She's gone over 7.5 in 3 of 6 thus far, and then she's had 2 games of 6. And that last game she had 5. That was a low scoring game. We got, what's this? The 99-80 game against the Fever. She had 6 in 31 minutes. Phoenix, she had 8. LA, she had 8. They scored 80 against the Lynx. She had 10. Yeah, I'm gonna just go back to it. I'm gonna go back to Jackie Young assists, and just say that if Tiffany Mitchell plays, if she doesn't play, this just opens things up more for her to be able to stack up more assists. And she continues to have the ball in her hand all game. Like, she's bringing the ball up the court. Sometimes it's Plum. Majority is her. She's working 2-man with Asia. She's working 2-man with Stokes. Like the sets have Jackie Young's name all over it. So I'm going to just continue to take her assist prop.
Yeah, Jackie's rebounds have actually been good lately. Looking at her rebound, she's had at least 5 rebounds in 5 of her last 6. And she's been good against Dallas rebounding. She's had at least 7 rebounds in 4 straight games against Dallas. Her numbers are 4.5 at -114.
Okay. And rebounds and assist line is sitting here at 11.5. I see a consensus -130 on that. Probably shop around. You probably can get a better line. She's been over that 11.5 rebounds and assists in 4 of the 6 games this season. So a little bit better on the assists than just the assists, is the rebounds and assists, and going with your rebound stat that she had for last season. I like that. So rebounds and assists, Jackie Young, 11.5. That looks like a pretty solid play. Let's see. And Dallas is 10th in assists allowed to the opposing team. Just go ahead and throw that nugget out there as well. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Anybody else we want to throw into the hat? Any players on the wings side of ball? We talked about maybe a McCowan under, Billings over. I like that.
I mean, Enrique's usage is crazy, but the Aces can actually guard her. So I don't know if I like anything else. Besides, we like the under for the wings anyway, so I'm gonna have a hard time finding many players that I actually like in this matchup.
Enrique's still averaging 26.6 this season. With everybody gone, she's still somehow putting up 26 points.
Because the volume's crazy, and that's how she's doing it.
All right. Enrique last year in the playoffs had 18, 24, 12 in 3 games against Vegas. Regular season 12, 14, 21, 12. Dare I say we take an Enrique lower?
Yeah, we can. What's the number at?
Let's find out. Let's see. Enrique Gumawale points. Well, whenever this wants to load. There we go. All right. That's the games for today. There we go. Enrique Gumawale, her points prop is sitting at currently 22.5, -114. Both ways I see on one book.
I think that's just a pass for me.
Yeah, bro. It's the volume. It's the volume. Yeah. It's too much. I can't get back. I can't do it. I want to consider it, but I can't do it. Okay. All right. Before we get to the next game slate, got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy, because it's the funnest way to play the NBA playoffs with their fantasy pick'em. You can select higher or lower on player stats as points, rebounds, and assists, and you can make all WNBA entries, NBA entries, or you can, throw some golf in there, throw some MMA, MLB, anything you want to throw in there, you can. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Make sure you go and download it in a bunch of states in Canada, California, Texas. They also just launched in Florida their Champions Player versus Player format. Make sure you tap in there. Sign up with Underdog Fantasy at underdogfantasy.com with promo code NBA SGPN. And please, we need it. If you respect this show, we need the looks. Keep us getting paid. So use that promo code NBA SGPN, claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. All right. Second game, last game of the slate, we have the Minnesota Lynx on the road going to play the Los Angeles Sparks. Sparks are catching 7.5 at home. 160.5 is the total for those two teams. Injury report here, and it looks like for let's get out of all of that. There we go. For the Minnesota Lynx, we have Diamond Miller still out for some time, and then Lexi Brown is a game time decision. She left with an ankle injury in that Mercury game in the first half. I don't think she came back in the second half. She did not come back in the second half. Laisha Clarendon, we'll see if she's a game time decision. Well, I'm sorry. They are a game time decision with a concussion, and Azurá Stevens is still out.
I mean, there's a tier gap between these teams. So the question is, we saw the Sparks score about 22 points in the first half against the Mercury. Now they're at home. They're still a really bad basketball team. We know Minnesota's been very solid this season. Does this line feel short to you? Because it kind of feels short to me.
There's really nothing to talk about here. We're fading the Sparks for this entire month. The schedule, the schedule's OD. There's nothing to talk about here. We're fading the Sparks the entire month, Scott. We're laying 7.5. Defensively, the Lynx are on another level. If the Sparks are in this game, if you think that we're not buying into the Lynx, you have to play the under then, and just say that they go into a grinded out game, play really good defense, and the Lynx can't score. But this Lynx defense is nasty. It's really tough. The Sparks, when you look at them offensively, they look like it doesn't look like Kia Nurse or Lexi Brown at the guard position is getting the offense consistently moving how Kurt Miller would want. And they look stagnant at times. It doesn't look like they have a plan. And then it ultimately ends up with the ball falling into De'Arica Hamby hands. And she either drives for the basket and tries to score, or they go and double team her. She gets a really good look for somebody else and she kicks out for a shot. But there's really no offense here. It's really not.
I don't know where the Sparks are going to be able to actually have success in this matchup. I feel like the Lynx are built to kind of handle almost any team. I'm not saying they're the best team in the league, but they're definitely a couple of
veterans
ahead of the Sparks. Yeah, they've been around the block. You're looking at Collier. I think it's going to be a matchup problem. I do like Brink defensively, but I do think Collier can obviously shoot from the outside, so that's going to be a problem for Brink to deal with. You're looking at all the other options they have. McBride's been very solid recently. Really, everybody from Minnesota has been a threat. I just think you're looking at a spot where the Sparks don't really have enough talent to hang in there. Maybe if Azurá was back, you can make an argument, or you can talk about how they would be at full strength, but they're not. I think the Lynx should win this game by double digits. They're clearly better than the Sparks team. So,
Sparks defense ranks 8th in opponents' points per game, giving up 83 points per game, opposed to the Lynx, who rank 3rd, giving up 77.4. Their offense ranks 10th, scoring 77 points per game. I just, watching these two teams, this is clear top versus bottom. And with this being Commissioner's Cup game, and with the Minnesota Lynx having the opportunity that they have with how good they've started their season, opposed to last season where they were one of the worst teams to start just because they had a slow start, then they eventually ended up picking up through the year. I just can't see them overlooking this Sparks team. I think they're gonna cruise over to this win. Yeah, you just gotta lay it with Lynx here. Lay 7.5. We're fading the Sparks all month. I already don't think the Sparks will win a game or a month, but I have to wait until I see a line that'll make me say, okay, they might cover and still lose. But I think if the Minnesota wins this game, they're winning by double digits.
I want to quickly look at Minnesota's road numbers this season because I feel like a lot of the wins that I could think of were at home. So
They are,
Minnesota.
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
you could read. I was going to say on the road they beat the Dream by 13, lost to the
Mhm.
Sun in overtime, and beat the Storm by 13. So they're good on the road.
Yeah.
So that's good enough for me. Yeah, I'll go with the Lynx.
You know, their offense is, well, it's because Caleb McBride, but first in 3-point percentage, 38.6%.
Yep. No, they're really good.
Yeah. I'm all over the Lynx here. All right. Laying 7.5. And I trust them. Now they've given me a few games where I can say I can lay points with this team and feel good about it. So Lynx laying 7.5. Totals at 160.5. That's actually going up a point.
Do we think the Sparks actually score against this team?
No, I don't.
I don't either. So I'm going to lean under.
And I think that if the Sparks are in this game in any way, shape, or form, it's because they just woke up and had a better game defensively. And it's not
Yeah.
like they don't have options. Like Hamby, solid. Break, we know, gonna be a future defensive player of the year at one point. Lexi Brown, if she plays, very good 3-and-D gal. Like they have options defensively, but it's just that they haven't been able to generate offense. They've been sloppy. They've created turnovers, so that's kind of made the points per game and the defense look worse than what it really is. So I actually don't think they're that bad, but I still don't think they have anything for the Lynx. So yeah, under 160.5. All right, player props. What you like here?
Well, I mean, you mentioned McBride threes, so I just want to ask, are you taking that?
Mm,
Just wondering.
let's see. Maybe. Let me see. What's the line at?
Her threes are 2.5. She has gone over in 6 of the last 10 games.
What's the
She had 5 last game,
what's the odds on that?
minus 114. But she has gone over this number in 5 of her last 7. The 2 that she did not, she ended up having exactly 2.
Mm-hmm.
She's attempted at least 6 3-pointers in what is that? Sorry. 6 of the last 7 as well. So just a thought. If you want to go for an alt, you can get 3.5 at plus 240.
And the Sparks are also ninth in 3-pointers made allowed, giving a 8.6 per game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad play. So I mean, she's just on absolute heater.
She is.
Like this is different. This is a different version of Caleb McBride. Caleb McBride's always been a really, really good player, but like she would have games and then she would have games where she cooled off. And like she's been cooking this year. Like I haven't seen her cool off, honestly. So and so maybe I need to change my stance on Caleb McBride. That was the reason I didn't play her in years past, is because I never knew up or down whether I was going to get a good game or a bad game. Maybe we're getting a bunch of good games from her this year.
Do you call your rebounds? It's at 10.5. She's had at least 11 in 3 straight, at least 11 in 5 of 6. My concern is a blowout if she gets pulled, but it's a Commissioner's Cup game. You never know.
And I'm looking at the rebounds and assists too, because she's also had a few games with 4 assists and 4+ assists, and that always is going to add to a total. Her rebounds and assist line is at 13.5, and she's been over that in. I'm sorry, let's get just this year stuff. She's been over that in 6 of their 8 games this season. Like I said, you talk about the rebounds, 14, 11, 13, been over that streak, that 10.5 in 3 straight. Go even further than that, and it's 5 of the last 6. I can't go against Nafisa. I mean, Nafisa Collier is just one of those players that's like AT, and you just kind of play your props, and you're expecting a win. Like I played points and rebounds. I played rebounds and assists this year. It doesn't matter. Nafisa Collier just gets it done, and it's because she's an MVP candidate. Like she's just one of those players. They're just never going to get her prop right. So yeah, I'm with you. You could play it anyway. I think you could play the 10.5 point rebounds. You could play rebounds and assists. I wouldn't even mind taking the points because honestly, I think that with Brink on the inside, she's going to end up taking a lot more jumpers, and she can hit those. Like, she can hit those. And I think that's the dangerous part of her game that people forget, is that she can shoot from anywhere on the court.
I might want to fade Brink in this game. I got to figure out how I want to do it, because points are at 8.5. She's at less than 8 in 3 straight games. So that's an option, but it's minus 138 for the under in points. I was looking for points and rebounds. I couldn't find that. I found points, rebounds, and assists. That's at 16.5. She's at less than 16 in 3 straight. She had 2 outlier games where she ended up having 21 points against Dallas and 15 points against Indiana. But besides that, offensively, she's been kind of a mess. Rebounding-wise, she's had a less than 7 rebounds in each of the last 4 games. And assists, I don't believe she's ever had more than 3 in a single game. So against Minnesota's defense, I think Brink might be a fade in the spot. Foul trouble could be a concern as well if she's going to be guarding Collier. She has had 5 fouls in 3 of her last 5 games. So I do think I want to go for a Brink under on points, rebounds, and assists at 16.
And everybody can guard her out by the 3-point line as well. Yeah. Like, it's not. I mean, the length is still going to be an issue, but like Lonte Smith, Fisa Collier, they all can guard on perimeter.
Yep.
So I like that look. I think that's actually going to be a pretty. This is a pretty tough matchup for her. Let me see. How has her in those games that she really went nuclear? She was able to get at least 1 3-pointer on the board in a couple of these games. Yeah, 3 for 6, 21 points, 15 points, 1 for 3, 11, 2 for 3. But all those games that went under in points, she did not shoot. Well, no, she got a 3-pointer in that one, but that's it. That was the only shot she made. Yeah, I'm with you. Probably a decent time to get down on some Brink unders here.
I see foul trouble for her. Is she guarding Collier? Are they just going to tell her have fun? You're going to be guarding one of the MVP favorites? Like, I don't know who's going to guard her.
I wouldn't try to make it a one-on-one matchup. If she runs into her in the paint, okay. But I would try to utilize her more as a shot blocker and keep the Courtney Williams and Caleb McBride drives, like all those at bay. Alana Smith under the rim, but I'm not leaving her out there with Fisa Collier by herself. Not at this point in her career.
I'd agree with you, but I am just wondering if they are going to try to give Brink the assignment. I wouldn't. I'd let her roam and try to block shots, but we'll see what the coaching staff decides.
All right, I like that look. Might have to get down on that one. All right, let's see here. Anything else? Anything else here? Brink lower. Hamby. Points and rebounds. I mean, I just feel like if she's in the game, she's going to be in the game for almost 40 minutes every time. I think that last game against Phoenix where it kind of got out of hand, she got some rest, but she's still.
No, she's still legit.
She's still, 10-point loss to Chicago. She still played 39 minutes. So, let me see anything. And then everything else has actually been rather close for the most part. So, yeah, I think you still got to play her. She's going to have the volume. It just may not look pretty and it may be frustrating. But if you have to go that route, I think that the volume is there. Kia Nurse, I just don't know what day I'm going to get a good game from her and what day I'm not. I don't know when she's going to go nuclear. I wonder what her first half. I wonder what Kia Nurse's first half numbers are, because I swear every time I look at it, she has maybe 2 points at halftime, and then the second half I wake up and she's went nuclear in the second half and got somewhat close to her prop. I wonder what her first. Oh, they don't have it up here. All right, I was curious if they had lines on her first half and what it was and what the metrics actually said about that, because I feel like she's a slow starter. Well, at least she's been for this LA team. All right. Also, I may have a play on Rickea Jackson. Maybe. It depends if Lexi Brown plays or not, because that's a lot of injuries, and they're going to start needing to go to different offensive options. Ari McDonald might have a big role in this game, especially if Lexi can't go. And maybe that makes the Sparks look better, honestly, because Ari is a little bit, even though she's a scoring guard, a little bit closer to a 2-point guard than Lexi is. And I think that'll really, really help. All right. Anything else on this game, Scott, before we move on?
No, I think I'm set.
All right. Before we get to our lock dog, and We can makeshift. We got enough props, and we can just assume what underdog will have and makeshift an underdog lineup. But before we do that, got to talk to you about Rhythm. Their WNBA features are top notch, and they absolutely make it easier than ever to bet all the action this season. Create custom betting models in seconds. Get AI bet betting recommendations for every game. And their team of data scientists are constantly working on the back end to make sure you're getting the most accurate predictions possible without having the number crunch. So make sure you use the Rhythm app. Download Rhythm and get a 7-day free trial of WNBA, golf, and more. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Join now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus just in time for the Belmont Stakes at nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Need an extra boost? Bet the Pin Mile with the bonus. You can earn $10 win or lose when you bet at least $100 on the Pin National on Friday. And you can get $10 win or lose when you opt in and bet at least $100 on Monmouth Park on Saturday. So look at all these opportunities to get extra bonus bets. If you're gonna make the bets anyways, make them at NYRA and get you some extra bonus cash. Grab a share of $2,500 when you hit the last two trifectas on Sunday at Monmouth Park. Just opt in at nyrabets.com and get ready to cash in on the excitement. And you can score an additional $20 win or lose when you bet at least $100 on the Assiniboia. What? Assiniboia Downs on Monday. Scott, you're a ponyer. What is this word?
I'm gonna have to pull up the ad read to see what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know what that word is. It looked like ass though. But remember, it does. It literally says ass in the word. I don't know how to pronounce it. And it's probably some people that play the ponies. They're like, how do you not know how to pronounce this? I'm sorry. I'm not a horser. I'm sorry. But remember to get your $25 free bet. Is that not what y'all are? Y'all not horsers?
I don't think I've ever heard that in my life, but I like it.
I mean, I just made it up just now. But hey, man, it sounded like it worked. Shout out to the horsers. Remember, get your $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus. Jesus Christ. Deposit bonus for the Belmont Stakes. Go to nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Shout out to all the horsers out there. Matter of fact, the horsers, come give me some picks. I want to get down on the Belmont. Give me some picks. Belmont's the one by you, right?
Yes, but I'm not going this year. I used to go every year, but they unfortunately are doing renovations to the Belmont, so it's not actually in the Belmont. It's going to be in Saratoga this year.
Oh. All right. Let's see here. Shout out to Ron in the chat, dropping some gems. I see you in there, Ron. Lynx defense is solid, but what is he saying? I can't even see that. Oh, there we go. 9th in the paint, field goal percentage allowed. So if Brent gets inside the paint, she can be effective. Okay. And they're also 9th and second chance points. All right. So inside the paint and with the bigs is really where they're going to try to attack. And so, I mean, that could help Brink, or that could just mean that you just need to trust Hamby to continue to be the leading scorer of this team. And
I think it's more of a Hamby thing for me personally.
Because Hamby is, I have it right here. Hamby is 3rd in the W in points in the paint this season, getting 13 points in the paint this season. She's 3rd in W. Really she's 2nd, because Natasha Howard's just sitting up there with 2 games played at 14, so she really doesn't count. She's really 2nd, and it's Asia, and then it's Hamby, and then it's Nneka.
Yeah,
and Collier right there under her. So, all right, yeah, maybe they're just, hey, trust Hamby to go out there and score. Maybe she gets back on the slide with the rebounds.
On a separate point, by the way, how good were those Aces teams? They just let Hamby walk. Like how good were those Aces teams?
Yep. Like and it was the best thing for both rosters. Like both rosters benefited from that. So yeah, that's really crazy. You don't really see that happen too much.
No, it's just like Asia's like, yeah, it wasn't a super team, and then you're like, Hamby barely played for you, right? And she's averaging like 20 and 10. Like, what are you talking about?
So good. And it just think of the work that she did with Asia. Like this was a good situation. All right. She's at 19.5 too at plus money.
Solid deal.
That's in consideration.
Yeah,
that's in consideration. All right. The usage is there. That's really it for me. The usage and the volume is there. All right. Lock, dog, makeshift underdog lineup. For my lock, pressure's on because we do not have the results of tonight. So do I trust the fate of the Sparks? Or
You think they're not going to win a game for a month, so you seem pretty invested.
I mean, come on. The schedule is brutal.
I'm just saying, though, you're like, do I think they'll actually do it? Well, you don't think the Sparks are going to win a game for a month and it's only June 4th. So it sounds like you're considering the Lynx pretty heavily.
Yeah, it's dog. So this stretch, if they're competitive in any game, it's probably this stretch at home because they have these 3 games at home, and then after the last game at home on Sunday the night, they are gone, and they don't go back home until July 2nd.
Yeah,
From the
that's not
9th
good.
to the 2nd. You're on the road, and then you're playing the best teams in the league. This is a hard stretch for them, man. Lynx or aces, Lynx or aces, Lynx or aces. I'm gonna take the aces coming off a loss because I'm getting I found better odds. Yeah, I'm gonna take the aces off of a loss. I'm gonna lay it with the aces. It's just I don't know. I don't if they guard Enrique really, really well again, where at all are the Wings gonna get the offense to keep up? Like where? And it's not like Enrique was playing those games and she wasn't being utilized. Like her usage is up whether everybody's playing next to her or whether nobody's playing next to her. She's still getting insane usage. 8 for 24, 18 points. 9 for 22, 24 points in the playoffs. 4 for 14. Go to the regular season. Like the usage is still up. 16 field goal attempts, still only got 12 points. 18 field goal attempts, still only got 14 points. 20 field goal attempts, still only got 12 points. This is while everybody else is there. She's still putting up those numbers. So, I mean, how much further? 30? Like, how much further do I think you're going to shoot? She's just like, they just guard her really, really well. They respect her and they don't make things easy on her. And I understand this is a revenge angle because they got swept in the playoffs last year. But I mean, how much revenge can you do? You don't have the like Satu and Natasha Howard were your second and third leading scores last year, and they're not playing right now. Yeah, I'm taking the aces, laying 6.5. I think they're gonna just go ahead and dominate this Wings team. Rather chalk day, but I'll take the aces, laying 6.5 here. That's my lock.
Okay.
For my dog.
I'm wondering if you're going to double down in the same game if you're going to go for the Lynx game.
I think I'm going to the next game. I'm just looking for something with enough plus money value that makes it worthwhile. I might go Lynx and under and do it like that.
Okay.
But let's see. I just think this is a chalk. I think Wednesday is going to be a really chalk day. I can't see. I really can't see these being competitive. Like, well, I can see them being competitive, but like too competitive. No, I would be shocked. Let me see. Win margin. Oh, that's 135. That's not enough. All right. Yeah, it's going to be Lynx and under. So take the Minnesota Lynx. I'm going to lay to 7.5, and then I'm going to parlay that with the under 160 because ultimately I just don't think that the Sparks are going to score that much. And if the Sparks are even competitive in this game, it's going to be because the defense stepped up. So give me Lynx laying 7.5, and I'm going to parlay it with the under 164 plus 250.
Yeah, I feel like we had basically the same plays because I was going to take the aces as my lock at 6.5. I just think 6.5 is too low at the end of the day. I think that the Wings offensively are not exactly consistent enough with the lack of, I'd say, secondary options that they have besides Enrique. Even Enrique can be very inefficient, which can be a problem. It's a bit of a weird scheduling spot for the Wings, though, because they've only played 2 home games. Those are the first 2 home games of the season. first 2 games of the season, they played 5 straight road games. So they haven't been at home in a while. So I am kind of wondering how they're going to look. But I do think that the Aces, off a loss where they really did nothing offensively against the Dream, should look a lot more focused. And I do think that they're much better than Dallas in terms of talent. So I am going to agree with you. Give me the Aces -6.5 as my lock. For my dog, I thought about doing the margin, but it's not big enough. Let me see if I could find an alt line. I think the Lynx might just smack the crap out of this team. Just looking at how underwhelming I find the Sparks. I think that they are just not a very good basketball team. So the question is, how am I going to find value here? Because I can get Collier 12+ rebounds and Minnesota to win at +196, but I actually don't know if I like that enough. That's kind of the problem. So I have to see if I could find really anything in this matchup. Let me just quickly see what I can get. Sorry. I'm looking for alt lines. Do you see any alt lines? Because I just don't see any.
No. Let's go to Bet365 and see if we can get. They're normally pretty good about that. Let's see. Nope. I don't think they're out yet. I think we're too early to the. Let me see. Main props. Alternative point spread. Here we go. All right. Bet365. I can get you.
What's 11.5 at?
11.5 is +160.
Sure, I'll take that. Give me Minnesota -11.5 at +160.
All right. Let's add that to the card. There we go. All right, we're double locking the Aces. We're double dogging the Lynx in different aspects. You're taking Lynx -11.5 +160. I'm taking the Lynx laying 7.5 and the under 160 for +250 there. All right. Underdog. Who do we? I like the Asia rebounds play. So,
okay.
And they're gonna have that. So we can throw that in the underdog. I like
Jackie rebounds too, but I really don't want 2 players on the same team for rebounds. I feel like that's not a good.
Then let's go Collier.
That's fine. 10.5.
And Collier could be looking to have a really, really good week and in turn month because she had a great first month of the season. However, Asia was better. And so Asia won player of the month yesterday. It was announced.
I can't even argue that. Like, she deserved player of the month.
Bro, it's 27 and 13 in like that's NBA numbers, and like you said, 8 less minutes.
Yep.
And it's a lot less than that because she's not playing every minute of the game. Like, yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm fine with backing Collier and saying Collier also has a really good day. I think both teams are both Dallas and the the Sparks are going to be inefficient from the field. So more defensive rebound chances for both of them. Yeah, I'm with you. So both rebounds on those two, and then do we just toss the Brinks under, or do you want to go with Hamby points or Jackie assists? I think those are the 3.
For Jackie, I would probably want to throw in rebounds in there, so I'd probably go for rebounds and assists instead if I had to choose.
Okay.
But unless you like having a lower in there, because we had a lower for Tarazi, for example. I don't know if you just want to throw in a lower.
But we don't know if that hit yet. We don't know.
No, but I'm saying in general, though.
I do like the thought of the Brinks lower. Because I just think that everything, like Ron had some good points, but I think all of that makes points for Hamby. Like, I just, especially the offensive boards. I wonder what Brinks doing offensive rebound wise.
Not much.
Officially. Let me see. Offensive rebound. Yeah, no. So she's 0.8, 4th on the team. Hamby's at 1.1 offensive rebounds, and then it's Rikia Jackson as well. That's getting offensive rebound. Yeah. All right. I'm with the Brinks lower. We can do the Brinks lower.
I mean, the way that I look at it is I just think that she's more of a defensive stopper at this stage in her career. And that was the big question that I had for Brink when she was entering the W. Same with Angel. I just questioned how quickly their offensive games would translate, and I thought it would take some time. And so far, it has. Brink has had a couple of good games where the outside shot's going, but in reality, she has a lot of work to do. And I think you're looking at the limitations of her game right now, which she'll obviously work on, but I think her numbers are still inflated. So I will go with the lower on that.
All right. So it will be lower points, rebounds, and assists for Brink. They do have those markets set, for the
Should be
most part.
16.5, I think.
Yeah. So probably no an underdog, it'd be 16 flat, but I think it's still solid. All right. Anything else for people before we get up out of here, Scott?
No, a reminder that we will be back tomorrow for the NBA. Also, a reminder that next time we're doing this show, we're going to recap 2 separate lock and dogs because the games didn't happen yet for Tuesday. So just keep that in mind.
Very much so. And make sure that if you are looking for the episode or the games that are happening tonight, that you go back to the next episode and tap into our lock and dog plays there.
You mean the previous episode?
Yeah, the last episode.
Yeah.
Previous, what? Yeah.
You said
Yeah,
next.
tap into. Oh, next episode.
Yet, so.
Well, technically, I think if you play it through the playlist, it is the next episode. If it
Could
goes, possibly.
I think you can sort it different ways. I think that's how it goes.
Ooh.
So who knows?
All right.
But
enough of that. Either way, I actually don't have anything else. Make sure that you like the video on YouTube and give us a comment. Give us a comment if you're catching this on the back end. Maybe you're listening to this morning of tomorrow and waiting until then. So absolutely. Make sure you go back, leave us a comment, a like, all of that stuff, a 5-star rating review, wherever you get your podcasts. We need to do a contest because we got to get those reviews up. So we might need to drop a contest. So let me talk to the bosses. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end like this. We are out of here.